Happy Lunar New Year! I'm Dr. Yishan, a board-certified sleep psychologist. So Christmas is not far away, and New Year is here. So during the holiday season, do you have trouble to waking up in the morning? Or do you have difficulties falling asleep at night? You know, when it's holiday, a lot of gathering, a lot of food, it's understandable. However, if you have this kind of struggle all your life, ever since you were a child, and your parents, your friends, even your teachers all call you lazy, you know what? They may actually misunderstood you. For some people, this is actually a type of sleep disorder, delayed sleep phase syndrome, DSPS. It's not you, it's the sleep problem. Then how can you tell whether it's just a poor sleep habit or a real sleep disorder need medical attention? So there are 6 common signals you can really look out for. And my colleague, another board-certified sleep psychologist, Dr. Silverman, will summarize it to you.
The way that I see circadian rhythm disorders is somewhat on a spectrum. So there are folks who are delayed, there are folks who are advanced, like they fall asleep very early, and then there are, folks in between. So when it comes to having a delayed sleep phase, usually that involves inability to fall asleep at a desired or earlier bedtime than the biological clock. But once asleep, you'd be able to sleep usually through the night. So for folks who have delayed sleep phase and don't have any other sleep disorders in the picture like insomnia or obstructive sleep apnea, usually that means once asleep, you sleep all the way through up until your alarm goes off. And usually there's also an inability to wake up at that desired rise time or that earlier time. So there's a need to set multiple alarms, or there's a need for someone else to try to help wake you up. And I'd say one of the other telltale signs of having delayed sleep phase is actually experiencing daytime sleepiness. When we think about delayed sleep phase, it is actually considered under the umbrella of experiencing chronic sleep deprivation. And what we know about sleep deprivation is that it can actually cause excessive daytime sleepiness. So there is a very long nap time in these folks taking naps during the day on a regular basis. And typically, I would say for folks who truly fall into this category, I'm not talking 20, 30-minute naps. I'm talking 2, 3, 4-hour naps, where it's not even necessarily a nap per se, it becomes its own sleep period. And also may find that they doze off during the day, like if they're at their desk, if they're in a meeting, it becomes really hard to fight that sleep. And I would also say another sign of delayed sleep phase is a shifted eating schedule. So I know for myself and for most folks who relate will have their first meal typically at what everyone else considers their lunchtime. And the last thing I'll say is typically with a delayed sleep phase, you can sleep a normal amount of hours. It's just usually at a later time or when you have the opportunity to sleep in your natural sleep window.
So let's summarize the 6 signals or warning signs of delayed sleep phase syndrome. Number 1, you sleep at a later time than you desired. Second, you have difficulties getting up in the morning, no matter how hard you try. Number 3, a lot of daytime sleepiness. Number 4, you have to take really long naps during the day. Number 5, you may often doze off during the day, even during important meetings or when you drive. Okay, so now we know all the symptoms and warning signs you can look out for. What can you do? So here I want to give you 4 tips for you to try. First, if you can adjust your work schedule to make it really align with your natural sleep schedule, that would be perfect. right? If you are someone sleep from 3 to noon, then if you can have some kind of work, you can start late and work late, that's gonna be ideal. But I know in reality it's really hard. If you cannot do it, then try tip number 2. That is to really carve out 1 hour at night before bedtime, to use this hour as your before bedtime wind down period. What that mean? If you want to be able to sleep a little bit earlier so you can get up earlier for your work, then use this hour to help your brain slow down and be ready to sleep. Do something soothing and relaxing. Force your brain to trigger this sleep mechanism earlier. What you can do is taking a bath, taking a walk, listening to some music, doing some stretch yoga, meditation, reading a book, anything that is not stimulating for you. Because the goal is really to calm down your body and calm down your mind. So tip number 3 is what you can do during the daytime. In the morning when you wake up, really try to get some natural sunlight. If you can get up from the bed and immediately go outside, be under the sunshine for 10 minutes, that's gonna be great. Why? Because natural sunlight can really signal our eyeballs and then our brain to tell us, oh, it's daytime. So light is the biggest cue for our circadian rhythm. Well, of course, if you have difficulties to go outside in the morning, then you can try those artificial light box and place it right beside your bed. And you turn it on in the early morning. That can mimic natural sunlight and still signal you to tell you, oh, it's morning time. Be ready, get up. Tip number 4 is to really think about how to adjust your eating time to make it consistent with your sleeping time. If you sleep late and get up late, then maybe think about how to adjust the meal time similar to that. But try to eat your meal a little bit earlier. By eating slightly different and a little bit advanced, you are adjusting your sleep time too. But of course, all this just very simple tips you can try on your own. If you are really struggling with delayed sleep phase syndrome, please consider seeking professional help. You can go to see a medical doctor specialized in sleep medicine or a sleep psychologist like me or Dr. Silverman who really understand this kind of problem to really help you make individualized plan to help you adjust your sleep schedule. So if you want more sleep resources, you can subscribe my email newsletter and download a free ebook at mindbodygarden.com/sleep resource. You can also find my sleep podcast there and my online insomnia course there. I'm Dr. Yishan. Thank you for listening and watching. If you like my channel, please subscribe and like. Again, Happy New Year, and I will see you in the future. Bye.